like you to try something. Hold your hand up in a fist while keeping a slight gap inside as if you were holding a marker. Now take 3 deep breaths through it. Do you feel breathless or tired after doing that? Although it might be an exaggeration, that is how most patients with cystic fibrosis, CF, can feel. CF is an incurable disease that affects more than 70,000 people worldwide. While only 3% of the population knows about it, CF is an incurable disease. Cystic fibrosis is a fatal genetic disease. As a patient gets older, the disease progressively worsens, causing breathing problems because of the mucus/fluid-filled lungs. My mom gave birth about 1.5 years ago to a beautiful baby girl named Stella. A few weeks after Stella was born, she underwent many normal newborn tests, such as a sweat test and a genetic testing. Some of the tests hinted towards her having CF, but still was not confirmed. Transmembrane conductance regulator, CFTR, is a gene that causes cystic fibrosis. CFTR regulates the salt and water that travels in and out of the body. Since people with CF have salty skin, my parents were told to lick Stella's skin to see if it was just the appropriate amount of saltiness. This seemed to prove nothing, so we were left to wait. The wait felt never-ending. Each day felt as though one more breath was being stripped from me. But somehow I never wanted to receive the news because there was the chance of what we feared most becoming true. About a month after tests, the results were confirmed. The news was impossible to wrap our heads around. I remember my mom crying for weeks. She had psychiatrists visit our homes and visited many doctors. None of us had any clue what cystic fibrosis was before Stella's diagnosis. Many doctors she went to had no idea as well. I believe a lot of you are going through the same confusion as my parents and I once have. My parents were grieving, and it was difficult to keep the family together, although they tried. I didn't handle it any better myself. I wasn't informed, I had no idea what was going on. I soon wasn't able to get out of bed because of the constant stomach pains and anxiety. Shortly after, I was sent to the hospital for a couple of days because I was wrongly diagnosed with dehydration when it was really just my body shutting down. My mom had always said that it was important to take care of yourself before anyone else. I was too worried about what was happening to Stella that I didn't even notice what was happening to me. This moment of time was incomprehensibly difficult. Imagine for a moment that someone you love, whether it's a mother, father, your best friend, or a sibling, has to go throughout their whole life worrying about tomorrow. Their worry is unknown to science and to others. This is how my family and I felt. Only about 20 people in the whole world hold the same CF gene as my mother does. At least one of the parents had to have the gene. However, as luck may have it, both of my parents carried the gene, which is highly unlikely. In fact, my mom carries a very rare version of it. The gene mutation she holds has unknown effects and is unpredictable. Her mutation makes Stella's condition more severe. Someone with a more severe case will experience more serious and frequent symptoms. This appeared as yet another challenge that we were juggling. It's been almost 2 years now, and Stella isn't displaying any strong symptoms. She does, however, get colds and fevers very often. This is due to the fact that people with CF are more prone to infections. She regularly gets sick after taking a shower or staying too late on a cold night. Things as simple as this can trigger an infection within somebody. The older the person, the more severe the infections are. I recently was able to attend a charity event for a local CF organization in Boca Raton. While there, an 18-year-old boy with cystic fibrosis spoke about his experience. A couple of years back, he wound up in the hospital due to a hole in his lungs because of an infection. He required immediate care and a lung transplant. There are endless challenges that someone with CF will have to face. While it is a harsh reality, it is one that CF patients and their loved ones must go through. Because of the risks the illness presents, certain treatments are available and required. One treatment is oxygen therapy. Oxygen therapy is when somebody with CF will receive oxygen through a mask or a nose tube. This is done to bring more oxygen to the lungs than a normal breath would provide. Other ways to treat CF is by using medication. This can treat and prevent lung infections, lessen swelling in the lungs, and thin the mucus. A required treatment is enzymes. My little sister has to take capsules of enzymes every time before a meal, so she gets the nutrients. Besides this, she's too young for other treatments. Most people with CF cannot fully break down their food in order to absorb the vital nutrients for a healthy diet because of the lack of enzymes produced. Think of how Pac-Man breaks and takes down anything in its path. The enzymes are symbolic for Pac-Man. At the end of the game, Pac-Man digesting and taking the nutrients from food. At the end of the game, Pac-Man dies because he gets killed by one of the ghosts. Like this, people with CF have only one Pac-Man and too many ghosts. Adults and children with CF may become underweight because of this. Being underweight can lead to many health problems, especially for babies whose vital organs are still developing. None of this has been easy for me. Some people might still not fully understand what CF is. With all of this in mind, I found a safe in-between spot for me, somewhere that I can share cystic fibrosis matters without putting a toll on me. That safe spot is me taking a step back and assessing myself. I assess who I'm surrounding myself with and if they're creating additional stress on me. I've learned that it's not selfish to ask for some alone time when you need it. If I become too submerged on an issue, then I might take some time away from everyone to do something I love, such as singing, painting, or simply watching stuff on my computer. I've discovered that I can help others better now that I've learned to take care of myself. On airplanes, they always tell you, in case of an emergency, put your mask on before anyone else's. Just like oxygen masks for CF patients, I'm learning how to put on my own mask first. That's how everyone should handle situations. If someone is in a tough position, it's not selfish to take a step back. Just breathe.